and we're back once again. I got something else from the pleb, who says that Pierre Poilievre calls for the immediate deportation of any newcomer who breaks the law. It's very interesting. Let's see what Pierre has to say here. Now, before we do get into this, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help grow the channel, and I appreciate you guys so much for doing that. So I did also fast forward the first 20 seconds of this clip because you can't really hear the question. But I'm assuming it has something to do with deportations. So we'll have a look, and we'll talk about it.
Well, look, I share some of the frustration, but let's be clear. The judges are interpreting liberal laws. It's liberal laws, C-75, that allows criminals who've committed 150 or 200 offenses to be released within minutes of their latest arrest. That is a liberal law. So when a judge gives bail, they're just following the liberal law. It is the liberal law, C-5, that allows serious, violent offenders to have house arrest or to get early parole. It is a liberal law that allowed Paul Bernardo to go from a maximum security penitentiary to a medium penitentiary.
That's
where
right.
He'll be able to play sports and cook for himself and enjoy the freedoms he robbed from other people. Those are liberal laws. So let's, sure, we can blame others, but the blame is with the liberals. And by the way, markcarney has done nothing to reverse the laws brought in while he was the economic advisor to the liberals.
That's right, and we can't let the liberals forget this. Okay, markcarney is not an outsider. He is an insider. He was advising Justin Trudeau for the last 5 years of Justin Trudeau's reign as Prime Minister. So again, if you know swing voters, if you know liberals who are telling you this, just make them understand. And by the way, the Financial Post and CBC both admit that Carney was an advisor. So even the bought and paid for government media didn't even try to hide it. You can just go to CBC or the Financial Post, put it in their search bar, it'll come right up. Just put in the search bar, markcarney, Justin Trudeau, advisor. It will come up. And just show them. And show them what fools they are. But try to be nice, because they're trying to convince them to be on our side.
So let's put the blame where it belongs. As for this ridiculous ruling that suggested that someone should have a lower conviction or sentence because they were a temporary resident in our country from another nation, that is outrageous. It is ridiculous that in our liberal justice system, someone gets a lower conviction simply because they came from another country.
I mean, just think about that. Not even from is this a smart thing or an insane thing or a stupid thing? This is a corrupt thing. I mean, my God, they're just letting people come here, not valuing the way that we live our lives, which, by the way, if you or I went to any other country, we would be expected to follow the laws in those countries. And we would also expect to adapt to their culture. You're not going to go over there and start demanding that they speak English. If you go to China or India or Russia, you're not going to demand it. You might be able to find people who also speak it, but they would never allow anyone to come to their country and start changing their way of life. Only we do that here. And apparently if you say otherwise, it's racist. Liberalism is a disease. Modern liberalism. If you're a JFK liberal, cool. I don't really have a problem with you. I'm sure we can go deep. We can do a deep dive into that. But come on, man. Modern liberalism is just it's filth. It's like having a disease. It really is. Because you think it's okay, and you vote for people who think it's okay and make policies to suggest that you can come here. And if you hurt someone, it's okay, you can get out of jail because you're not from here? There's no logic in that. None.
And that is why Michelle Rempel, conservative immigration critic, is introducing a law that will ban judges from giving sentencing discounts to people on the basis of their immigration status. Frankly, anyone who is visiting our country from abroad and applying for immigration who commits a crime should be deported from our country.
damn straight. And I don't even know how that's not common sense. Well, it is common sense, but I don't like. You could be really stupid and be like, "Yeah, I agree with that." The only way you wouldn't agree with that is if you are severely propagandized. To think that you could go to any other country, hurt someone really badly or worse, and then, oh, it's okay, you're Canadian, we'll let you go. That would never happen anywhere else that you would want to live. Never. And if it did, there would be riots and protests in the street. And again, I'm not saying riot, I'm saying you'll keep things peacefully. Hear that, YouTube? I'm not inciting anything, I'm just saying if this were to continue to happen, we should be protesting this. I'm also guilty, I'm not out there protesting. That being said, at least we have a party who wants to get things done, and they can table bills, and if they convince the Bloc and the NDP, they can actually get it passed without the Liberals. I don't know if that'll happen. I don't know if the NDP has learned anything from the last election or the last few years under Jagmeet Singh. Who knows what the Bloc's thinking? But they could get together and do this. And then if they did, you're going to have every single person with common sense, with any amount of logic, someone who is not propagandized, going, hey, look what the Conservatives, NDP, and Bloc did. And the Liberals tried to stop this from happening? That should convince a lot of swing voters, hey, wait a minute. Okay, my elbows are getting tired from hanging in the air all these months. Not to mention, Carney's kind of dropped the ball on that one. I'm going to go back to paying attention to these other issues that affect me, affect my friends, family members, my children. And that would help them. And if they tried to pass it and the NDP and Liberals teamed up again, then Pierre could go after them for that. This is one of many reasons why Pierre is the man for the job, because he knows how to, put forth bills that make it look good for Canada if it gets passed. Also make it look good for him and make it look really bad for the Liberals if they don't pass it. The Conservatives and Liberals can get it done just by themselves. So if the Conservatives foot all these bills and the Liberals just shut them down, it's just going to remind you of a certain Prime Minister that we just got rid of, that Mark Carney's trying to separate himself from.